Hola y buenos días. Soy yo el señor Morris. Soy el maestro de español. ¿Cómo están ustedes? Primero vamos a cantar nuestra canción de saludos. Canten conmigo. Hola, buenos días. ¿Cómo están ustedes? ¿Cómo se sienten? Yo me siento bien. Muy bien cantado. Today, we'll be reviewing the dialogue that we've been working on. We'll be using our numbers. We're going to learn the colors in Spanish, and we're going to read a book. But first, I want to give you a scrambled word in Spanish. Take out your notebooks or scratch paper, and I'm going to tell you the letters in Spanish. Ready? R, E, L, O, C, O, S. Okay. Now let me show you what they are, just to make sure that you got them all written down right. R, E, L, O, C, O, S. Relojos. Okay. Go ahead and write all those letters down in your notebooks, and we'll see who is able to unscramble them to form one of the words that we use in today's class. Let's begin by going over the dialogue that we've been practicing. But this time I'm going to leave some of the words out and see who can tell me the sentence. Okay? I'll show you what I mean. We always start off by saying, Hola, ¿cómo te? And what's that last word that we always use? Raise your hands, tell your teacher, and I'm going to show you when I count to 3. 1, 2, 3. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? Did you get that right? Then you answer by saying, me blank. Me blank. And 1, 2, 3, 4. You see there are 4 spaces here. There's a reason for that. Do you know the answer to this one? Tell your teacher. 1, 2, 3. Me llamo. Llamo. And the reason there are 4 spaces is because la ella, that's considered one letter in Spanish. Ella, A, M, O. So that's 4 letters. Me llamo, and then you say your name. And then somebody may ask you this. Estás. Estás. You know the answer to that one? Tell your teacher. 1, 2, 3. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? And if someone asks you, ¿Cómo estás? You'll answer by saying, Estoy. Tell your teacher, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Estoy bien. Remember that one? Estoy bien. Okay. And then we continue. Somebody might ask you, ¿Cómo llama tu amigo o amiga? Do you remember there's just a little 2-letter word that we put in there? ¿Cómo llama tu amigo o amiga? Tell your teacher. 1, 2, 3. ¿Cómo se llama tu amigo o amiga? ¿Cómo se llama tu amigo o amiga? That's right. And then if somebody asks you what the name of your friend is, you might say something like this. Te presento, and then the name. Do you remember what goes there? Te presento, and then the name. Tell your teacher by the time I count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Te presento a, and then you say the person's name. Te presento a, and then you say the person's name. And then when you meet somebody, you say this. You say, mucho, mucho, Tell your teacher, 1, 2, 3, mucho gusto, mucho gusto. And if someone says mucho gusto to you, you'll answer them by saying, el gusto es, El gusto es, 1, 2, 3. El gusto es mío. The pleasure is mine. El gusto es mío. Okay? And then somebody might ask you a question like this. They might say, ¿Cuántos tienes? If they want to know your age. They'll say, ¿Cuántos tienes? And this is something we haven't covered too much, so Tell your teacher. 1, 2, 3. ¿Cuántos años? How many years do you have is literally what it says. But how old are you? So if somebody asks you, ¿cuántos años tienes? You'll say, blank años. Blank años. Tell your teacher. 1, 2, 3. Tengo años. Tengo años. All right. And they might ask you this question. ¿Cuál es tu número de... If they want to give you a call, they might ask you this. ¿Cuál es tu número de... 1, 2, 3. Teléfono. ¿Cuál es tu número de teléfono? And if somebody asks you that, you can answer them by saying, Mi de teléfono es el, and then you'd say the number. Mi de teléfono. And this should be pretty easy. 1, 2, 3. Mi número de teléfono es el, and then you tell them your number. Muy bien. Ahora vamos a ver los números. Let's look at the numbers and what we can do with them. We've already talked about giving ages or phone numbers in Spanish, but you can do math with them too. Now, one of the things that you can do is sumar. See that? Sumar. And if you look at the first part of that word, sum, that's what you get in math when you add two things. So, we can say 2 más 3 son, and this is sumar. You can say 2 más 3 or 2 súmale 3. That's sumar. Another thing that we can do is restar. And you see the first part of that word, rest? Well, when you take something away, what you have left is the rest. So, restar would be like this. 5 menos 3 son, and then there's your answer. That is restar. Another mathematical process is multiplicar. Multiplicar. And this is a cognate, okay? So this one should be pretty easy. And on this one you'll do something like 2 por 3 son. Or you could say 2 multiplica por 3. Okay? So this is a good way for you to review your math facts and your Spanish at the same time. Okay? Try having math races in Spanish. Now, another thing that I told you we would do today is go over the colors. We'll go over this quickly today because we still have a book to read, and we'll come back to the colors a couple of times this year. It might be useful to write these down in your notebooks as we go along. So get out your notebooks and let's start with this. The first color that we see here. Do you know what that's called in English? Yeah, it's blue. En español es azul. Azul. Go ahead and write that down so that you'll know. Azul. The next color is this one. Yeah, like an apple. Red. Y en español es rojo. Can everybody say that? Rojo. Since it starts with that R, we roll it. The next color we're going to talk about is this one. Ah, like the sunshine. That's yellow. Y en español, amarillo. Go ahead and write that down. Amarillo. Okay. And then we start combining colors. So if we combine azul y rojo, you can get this, azul y rojo, and it might look like a different color to you, but this is purple, or in español, morado. Go ahead and write that down in your notebooks. Morado. Yeah, sometimes it's called violeta. If you combine azul y amarillo, you get this color. And this is green, of course, in English. Y en español, verde. Verde. Jot that down in your notebook so that you'll have those to refer to later. If you combine rojo y amarillo, you get this color. It's the same color as the name of the fruit. It's orange. Y en español, anaranjado. Anaranjado. Go ahead and write that down. This color. Now it depends on who you talk to. It's either the presence of all color or the absence of all color, but it is white. In español es blanco. And that looks kind of like the word blank, doesn't it? Blanco. Write that one down in your notebook. This is white. Okay. And then again, this might be the absence of all color, the presence of all color. En español es negro. Negro. Go ahead and jot that down in your notebook. Yeah, this is what you see if you close your eyes. And this last one, yeah, it's kind of a combination of a bunch of different colors. It's the color of something that I drink in the morning. I drink coffee. This is brown. It's called café. Café, which also means coffee in Spanish. Okay? So café. I hope you got all of those jotted down in your notebooks. That'll help you remember it. Another thing that I know of is a song to help us remember the colors in Spanish. And it goes like this. Red is rojo, green is verde, blue, azul, negro, black, yellow, amarillo, purple is morado, blanco, white, brown, café. And keep going. Red is rojo, green is verde, blue, azul, negro, black, yellow, amarillo, orange, anaranjado, blanco, white, brown, café. Okay, muy bien. We'll go over that again. Well, as a matter of fact, we'll sing it at the end of today's lesson as our goodbye song if you want to. Pero ahora vamos a leer un libro en español. We're going to read a book in Spanish, and this is the book we're going to read. It's called Un Cuento Curioso de Colores, and it's by Joanne and David Wiley. Let's look at this book now. Here's the story. Oh, can you tell what this girl's doing? Yeah, she's out in the ocean. She's going to catch a fish. She says, Esta mañana pesqué un hermoso pez, pero no dije de qué tipo. So she caught a fish, but she's not going to tell us what kind it is. ¿Es un pez azul? Is it azul? And she answers, Dije sí, pero no todo azul. She says, yes, but it's not all blue, is it? So someone asks her, ¿Es un pez? What color is this? Verde? She says, sí, pero no todo verde. It's not all verde, is it? Well, then somebody asks her, ¿Es un pez? Do you remember this color? Amarillo? What do you think she's going to say? Dije, sí, pero no todo amarillo. It's not all that color. So somebody else asks her, ¿Es un pez anaranjado? What do you think she's going to say? Dije, sí, pero no todo anaranjado. Well, it's just not one color, is it? Somebody else asks her, ¿Es un pez morado? ¿Es un pez morado? What do you think she's going to say? Dije, sí, pero no todo morado. Well, somebody else asks her, how about café? ¿Es un pez café? Dije, sí, pero no todo café. Pues, ¿es un pez negro? ¿Es un pez negro? Dije, sí, pero no todo negro. Pues, es un pez blanco. Es un pez blanco. Dije, sí, pero no todo blanco. Es un pez arco iris. Es un pez arco iris. Do you know what an arco iris is? A rainbow. So it's a rainbow fish. And she says, ¿Tendrá buen sabor? Do you think it tastes good? All of this talk about fish makes me hungry. Toda esta plática de peces me da hambre. And this story is called Un cuento curioso de colores. And again, we'll be able to see in your teacher's guides, that's listed on the page of materials that you can find to use in your classroom. Right now, I'd like for all of you to look at the activity sheets for today. We have two of them. One is called ¿Cuántos años tienes? And you should remember that question. ¿Cuántos años tienes? Let's look at that activity sheet right now. It looks like this, and this is kind of a magic trick. So go ahead and write your name at the top. Roberto. And it says each student will work the problem out after reviewing the example. She says, ¿Cuántos años tienes? And he says, 12. She says, súmale 5. What does súmale 5 mean? Add 5 to it. Okay, so he's got his answer here. You can do yours down here. We've left these blanks for you. And then she says, multiplica por 2. So here's his answer. Multiplica por 2. Here's his new answer, and you can do yours down there. Réstale 10. And réstale means subtract 10, so he's got his here. You can do yours down there. And then she says, multiplica por 5. So here he's going to multiplica por 5, and you can do yours down there. And then she says, quita el último cero. In other words, take this last 0 and take it off of there. And that's where he got his answer. And she says, ahí tienes tu edad. There is your age. Hey. So you can do that with your age. Over here it says, Luis tiene 12 años. He's 12 years old. Dentro de un año tendrá 13. So in 1 year he'll be 13. Dentro de 5 años. This is simple addition. So 12 más 5 son 17. You go ahead and see if you can do all of those down there. And that's the one that you can do some math on. Another activity sheet for today that we have is called Los Colores. And that's looking at what we just finished talking about, the colors. Now, on this one, we've got a color wheel. And it has all of the color names. What I'd like you to do is take your markers or your crayons and color through each of those. Now, what we've done is we've put the primary colors around here, and in between the primary colors, we put the secondary colors. So, if we combine, say, azul y amarillo, we'll get this color, verde. Okay, and then down at the bottom we have los otros colores, blanco, café y negro. Muy bien. Well, we've done a lot today. It's time for our despedida. It's time for us to say goodbye. But before we go, did anybody get our scrambled word for today? Do you remember that the letters were relocos? Relocos. That's right. Did you unscramble those? If you did, you might have gotten the word colores. Colores. Did you get that today? I hope so. Well, next time we're going to do some more work with colors and things like that. So make sure you've got those all in your notebook. Pero ahora tenemos que despedirnos. For our goodbye song today, why don't we go ahead and try the color song again? It's pretty easy. Now the words are in the student resource notebook and in the teacher's guide, and they're going to be right there. So you sing it with me, okay? Red is rojo, green is verde, blue, azul, negro, black, yellow, amarillo, purple is morado, blanco, white, brown, café. Red is rojo, green is verde, blue, azul, negro, black, yellow, amarillo, orange, anaranjado, blanco, white, brown, café. Very good. I'll see you all next class. Until then, adios. Adios, nos vemos.